Oh, that sounds beautiful. A moving tribute to our nation's historic immigrant experience and the American dream through music, spoken word, and projected images. Ellis Island, the Dream of America, featuring the Grammy-nominated music of composer Peter Boyer, is set to put the spotlight on immigration in a very positive way, and it's coming to the American Composers Festival this week in Costa Mesa.
And joining us in our studio is the composer Peter Boyle. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Peter.
Thank you for having me.
You have written classical music for orchestras all over the country, so in the world, and the Hollywood studios. So why this project? Why is this so important to you?
Well, this piece, Ellis Island, the Dream of America, which is a big work, a 45-minute work for actors and orchestra with projected images, is actually a piece that I composed 15 years ago, between 2001 and 2002. It's been performed continuously around the country by 75 different orchestras over the last 15 years. But what's exceptionally exciting right now is Pacific Symphony is featuring it in their annual American Composers Festival, which is a great honor for me as a composer, but even more so that PBS Great Performances actually has selected this for a one-hour program to be aired during Great Performances next season.
Wow,
so that makes
that's
it particularly
what
special.
an honor. We forgot
Thank
to
you.
mention that you are a local boy. All right, that's really. Tell us how this show works. You use the music, the images. How does it work?
It's really unlike, I think, any other piece of it's more than just a piece of music. This will have a 90-piece symphony orchestra, marvelous. Pacific Symphony is one of the great orchestras of our country. And the spoken word is actually spoken by 7 different actors, and the words come from something called the Ellis Island Oral History Project. This is a collection of 2,000 interviews housed at Ellis Island, and I spent months going through them and selecting individual stories, real words of real people telling their own tales in interviews about experiences emigrating decades before.
Wow.
And then on top of this, we have projected images, and actually there's a brand new, completely full-length set of visuals that have been commissioned and created just for this production. So they'll be seen for the first time, even though the piece has been performed many times.
This is such a rich part of a lot of our history. So what message do you hope to send through this composition?
Really, it's a celebration. It's a celebration of historic American immigration. It's a celebration of individual people who were real people, and even though they're just 7 people, in a sense, their stories represent thousands, millions of people. So many of us can trace a descendant through Ellis Island. So if there's any message, it's simply that that this is something that is as resonant for us today as it was decades ago, and hopefully is something that the audiences can enjoy and be enriched by.
And so timely right now.
It
given
couldn't be more timely.
Exactly.
And who would have known 15 years ago when I wrote this piece that this would be really exactly the moment at which perhaps its message might be the most relevant of all.
That's going to be very moving to hear the music, 90-piece orchestra. And when you compose, do you do it for every single instrument? How does that work?
Absolutely.
That's amazing to me.
Absolutely.
That is
I basically
unbelievable.
start with a piano score, and through a process of what's called orchestration, essentially decide every single note for every single instrument and the blends and the balances, and that's the great joy of being an orchestral composer.
Wonderful.
And when you're sitting in a marvelous hall and hearing an orchestra play your music, it certainly is one of the great rushes that one can have as a
I could imagine a genius up there in that right there. Yeah, well, Peter Boyer, thank you so much. The concert, Ellis Island, takes place Thursday through Saturday, April 6th through the 8th at 8 p.m. at the Renee and Henry Segerstrom Concert Hall in Costa Mesa, and tickets at thepacificsymphony.org, or you can also call the box office at 714-755-5799. Thank you so much, and best of luck to you. Break a leg.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.